Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more BSL action. We are in the third place match right now between Gypsy and Sziky, and it's a close one, tied up 1-1 right now. I think both games were well contested by both sides, some really great moves and mechanics from both players. And I'm just really excited, honestly, to get into map number 3. We're going to see exactly what map that's going to be just momentarily. But a big thanks to Zero and everyone involved in BSL. The greatest foreigner tournament out there. Now, the next map going to be Wavelet. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's see where Sziky actually decides to expand. Is he going to take another main base? Or is he going to try to take, you know, like one of those little kind of low ground mid base? I don't think so, right? Like, those are going to be a lot harder to defend. Okay, let's get into the map and we'll just see. All right, in the top right, Hungarian Zerg, it's Sziky. And in the bottom left, Canadian Terran, it's Gypsy. All right. So, I mean, I'm actually really excited for this game. I think that so far they've both shown like a ton of skills. It's looked fantastic on both sides. I have a really good understanding of the way that both of them want to play too, right? Like Gypsy really likes to have a large amount of Marines and Medics in the middle of the map. For pressure purposes, and Sziky likes to get that, you know, get up to the Defiler tech and, you know, just kind of try to get the 4th base while launching a counter attack that's Defiler based. That's like that was such a central part of his game on both the maps previously, that it's almost something that I'd like to see Gypsy really take note of and kind of like take an extra step against, like have an additional group that's a little bit further out to intercept that. Because if he's unable to pull that off, if you can just slaughter one of those move outs, because here's the thing, Sziky's moves to try to like kind of mask taking the 4th base of threatening Darkswarm in your natural, it's a very good tactic, right? It's a, you know, rather than like, you know, try to make the difference between a tactic and a strategy here. It's like, tactically, this is something he can do within his game. The strategy is more like get that 4th base up with Defiler tech. But tactically, he's trying to hit this move that buys a lot of time. It threatens a possible win. I mean, normally you don't just win directly off of that, although it can get you into a position where you're really far ahead. And occasionally it can win the game, not against someone like Gypsy's level, I don't think. But the issue that I see with it is if Gypsy like really shuts it down, if he just like nails it, right, irradiates the Defilers and Lurkers on their way across the map, or better yet, catches them with the Marines and Medics, that's going to leave less defense for the 4th base and natural area. Right, and depending on where the 3rd is, maybe that's now 3 locations that Sziky's going to have to try to defend, and that just makes it a lot harder. So those are valuable gas units that he's spending on that. And again, it's not that it's a bad way to go about things, but I think it is something that Gypsy can maybe shut down quicker and get a lead because of that. Now let's take a look at these builds. Gypsy just going for a standard barracks expansion. And as his SCV gets into the base and sees that 3-minute layer, he's going to know it's 2-hatch. So we'll see how he wants to play against. He actually grabbed his gas, excuse me, right away, which is what we saw in the previous games. But the previous games, well, I mean, like for instance, last map it was against 3-hatch, right? So a very quick +1 is going to be fantastic. I'm trying to think here. What his plan is. Okay, it is once again a quick engineering bay. Now, this is a doable build. You can't go up to 5 racks, but you can go up to 4 against the 2-hatchery play. Like, you just kind of don't have time to get 5 racks up and support them, plus get the turrets that you need early on against it. Now, just the Lings running in, Gypsy and Sziky both just kind of doing the little dance that you see early game with Marines against Lings. Sziky trying to lure some out. Gypsy walking back and forth, trying to pick a Ling off. Not going to be able to succeed on either side, really. But yeah, so this is still going to be very likely pretty heavy pressure coming out of Gypsy. He's going to want to be out on the map trying to utilize that +1 attack to get whatever done that he can. Now, there are speedlings coming, and Gypsy only has 5 Marines. So he actually might get in some big trouble here, right? Like, against these aggressive 2-hatch plays, sometimes you just have to make that bunker. But he went for such a quick eBay. He has like a slow... Oh, no. This actually is terrible. This, like, oh my god. Okay. So, luckily for Gypsy, Sziky did not overmake. Like, this is not at all a Ling all-in. That was just a little bit of a scuffle. And Gypsy pulled back reasonably quickly, and Sziky did not overcommit. But just throwing this out there, if there were like 4 more Lings in that, that could have possibly gotten a gigantic lead for Sziky. Gypsy's okay. He's okay. But that was very scary for a moment. If he hadn't pulled back his Marines a little bit quicker, you know, things can start to snowball because you're only on 1 barracks production. Either way, the Spire finishes up. He gets a bunker. He's all safe. Starting more barracks here as well. Gypsy going to have to throw down a bunch of turrets coming up. And we'll see where he goes from here. Of course, we see in the bottom right, that is going to be the 3rd base location. I think it was smart from Sziky to not go for a 3-hatch play again. You know, the 3-hatch muta timing, because this is going to allow him to more easily secure and hold this 3rd base, keeping that early mutalisk pressure on. Now some missile turrets are coming up. +1's still going. Going up to those 4 barracks as anticipated. And unloading a few Marines here too. He is going to need to utilize the Marines to help, you know, protect the turrets a little bit as they're being built. Now the first mutas are coming across the map. Let's see where they dive in first. It's going to be somewhere in the main base, maybe on the barracks, maybe yeah, it's going to be on the barracks. And the turret finishes up literally the millisecond the mutas get there. So great timing there from Gypsy. Throws down another turret immediately and a few more in the main base. So he is making a very good, very healthy amount of turrets here to try to keep Sziky off of his back. And a couple scans go down. He actually sees the timing of the Hydralist end. It's really a quick one. So that's actually going to be a very good choice here from Sziky. I don't think he knew exactly what the build was from Gypsy, but I think quicker lurker is always going to be good in this position. Now the muta's getting some decent damage. Does fly 1 rally muta through their fire. There's a lot of very red SCVs there that he doesn't end up getting. Medic will go in to heal those. And the mutas fly out. But some decent damage being done. Now the production is really starting here. The bunker in the way, along with that depot, yeah. So he will go ahead and kill that off. And now, okay, so what this has just done, it's been good harassment from Sziky, no doubt, like good micro and everything, but he's taken a lot of damage from turrets. And we have 4 barracks production with +1. +1 should be finishing pretty soon here. So with the mutas already kind of pre-bruised, Gypsy is going to have a slightly stronger move out because of that. So that's something Sziky really needs to watch out for. Like, see all those damaged mutas? He has to be really careful. Okay, so +1 is done. +1 armor is started. Yeah, Gypsy, I think, has to get out there and start putting some pressure on. But look at that. The lurker's already being made. This is not how you want it to go down, I think, as the +1 Terran player. You want to be out there before the lurkers. Lurkers kind of negate the upgrade advantage a little bit. And the mutas come back in for harassment. I think he feels pretty safe doing that since he already has lurker eggs coming. If he can just get a few lurkers at the natural, a couple at the 3rd base, then he's going to be completely safe against this. And all this early money put in... Yeah, look at that. Already a couple lurkers. All this early money put into upgrades here from Gypsy. Not going to pay off. Like, it's... And again, it's not that this is bad. Like, this is okay. It's a playable position. But you're kind of hoping to get a little bit more interaction with the Marines with +1 fighting against Muta Zergling. So the quick lurkers, I think, a great move here from Sziky. He scans, he sees the lurkers, and honestly, you don't really do anything against that. You're just like, okay, well, I guess that's that. Let's get into vessels. Starports are almost done, so still he's kept good time on this. SCV count, not perfect, I think. He has taken a little bit of damage there, so still producing a bit. Muta's starting to go for a counterattack, and again, this is a very standard thing. Once your lurkers have secured your bases for you, the Mutas should be going back and hitting, and here he goes once again. Previously on Aztec, we did see him hit on the barracks. Here he's trying to go in, stop some of the depots, see if maybe he can harass SCVs in the main. But it seems like really solid defense overall from Gypsy here. I don't think the Mutas are going to find all that much damage. Now, 3 lurkers total. Just going to pick off this Overlord, but I don't think you're going to attack into 3 lurkers here. Evolution Chamber, Macro Hatch, Hive coming up. Muta's going to be able to take down a depot, so still having some value. I really like to see these Mutas still active. Sziky with a hell of a lot of gas in the bank right now, almost 1K. So he's going to be able to get all of those upgrades going. Science facility is done. Little bit of a supply block here, unfortunately, for both sides. We'll get that going pretty quickly. Oh, he brings out 2 SCVs to make depots, and immediately the Mutas jump upon that. So this supply block is actually getting worse and worse. Okay, he starts the depots on that side, but that's a pretty large, pretty long supply block, unfortunately. Not a very comfortable position, I think, for Gypsy. He doesn't have the vessels putting any pressure on as of yet. Oh, I would say that I wonder how the medic got there, but it's a medic. It's literally the stupidest unit in the entire game. So, no big surprise that a medic is out at Gypsy's 3rd base to die to Mutas. And I'm not even being sarcastic. It's not Gypsy's fault. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Muta's continuing that harassment a bit. I tell you, I think Sziky's playing just fantastically here. This game is actually, I'm wondering if he's kind of taken note of the way Gypsy is playing, because you know how I mentioned at the beginning of the game that Gypsy could do some things to kind of hedge against the type of style that Sziky likes after Defiler, right? Where he tries to get his 4th base and he's like doing a little bit of Defiler-based counterattacks, right? He's trying to hit your natural with that and kind of slow you down. But this game, it was very, very quick lurkers from Sziky, and that's quite good against engineering bay builds. Like if you kind of cut a little bit of your production and get your +1 quicker, and then lurkers are out basically before you can hit, then the +1 doesn't really do anything for you being at that speed. The +1 build actually generally has a slower +2 than non-+1 builds, if that makes any sense, right? Like your factory is generally a little bit slower. So I think, like, I'm not sure if that's what made Sziky go for the quicker lurkers, but I feel like he's controlling the game pretty well. Like right now, Gypsy, he has map control, he has vessels. You know, he's okay, but positionally, like, I look at this game and I wouldn't be too happy as the Terran player here, even with that nice map control. Like, look at this. See, his supply is going up very nicely. He's trying to take a 4th base in a hilarious location. I was really... That's like a funny place to take it. And the SCV sees it, so that should not end up working out. That's such, like, kind of a wide open base. So, I think it's kind of wide open, isn't it? Like, I guess it has, like, the choke on a high ground where you go up from the natural, and then it has a smaller ramp going up from the outside. So, maybe it's still an okay base, but that does make it so that now there are 3 points that Sziky has to defend instead of 2. So he's opened himself up a little bit. We'll see if Gypsy can capitalize upon that. Adding some more barracks. I think he's gone up to about 7 at this point. Killing off this depot. That's probably... I think he wants a physics lab here. Get some battlecruiser tech going. All right, another base getting started. This one is a throwaway. Gypsy's going to be able to kill that immediately. That's optimistic, I guess, from Sziky. Ooh, almost loses one there. Plague, yeah, nice Plague. Nails a couple of the vessels and some of the Marines. So annoying, at least. Defensive Dark Swarm before the Defiler goes down. Some more consuming, getting ready. And I mean, that 4th base is up. We don't have it mining yet, but it doesn't look super breakable. Now, Gypsy does get his own third. We'll see if he takes a fourth quickly as well. He definitely has been most of the games. Nice pick off there. Does have to back up. This is right in front of the natural on Wavelet. So you see he's trying to kind of defend the natural and the fourth base at that one location. The ramp is a bit easier to defend at the actual fourth. Right, Lings being sent down. He does have that macro hatch now, so it can produce a hell of a lot of Lings. Gypsy's supply starting to peak up quite a bit. I believe we have another command center on the way, most likely. Ah, Yamato on the way. So this will be a battlecruiser game. Battlecruisers definitely can be very, very powerful against Zerg. One-shotting Scourge, really great. Yamato, better than a Radiate. That's for sure. A lot more energy as well, though. Now, oh, this is going to be a sick plague. Beautifully done. Switches the color there since it is red Terran. A little bit hard to see the plague on those units. All right, some Defilers coming out with the Ultras now, pushing everything back. Definitely have to reinforce this. You don't want to be fighting that much Ultraling with that little group of bio. So now Gypsy going to have to start grouping up a little bit, and unfortunately for him, it doesn't look like he's able to really prevent the fourth base that was taken, and now the fifth. Although we don't see the gases taken there yet. Sziky actually banked a lot of gas for quite some time, so seems like he's going to work on his minerals first a bit. And honestly, Sziky's supply is starting to get really, really, really scary. He's up at 143 against 163 at Gypsy, and that is a bad position for Terran to be in. Now, Gypsy's not dead yet. He does have great upgrades. He has a good vessel count. He has a good bio count. He's getting into battle cruisers, which can definitely change things quite a bit. But yeah, Sziky is getting a large army and a scary one at that. Now look at this, a little attack coming into that third base location. Instant liftoff by Gypsy. He will be able to clear this, but he's being annoyed at home, right? The counterattacks have begun, and he's not really defended up very tightly right now. So he has to clean this up with his main army, which means this gives more time mining, more time getting his other bases set up for Sziky. Another group of Ling Ultra coming down. You know, these are not unkillable. But I guess if you think of it this way, right? Each geyser you're mining 300 gas a minute from. So if you throw away an Ultra to give yourself an extra minute, that is very worth it. Well, an Ultra and a Defiler, I guess, technically. But you see the Dark Storms coming down. Once again, utilizing this tactic to slow Gypsy down, to keep him busy at his main base. Ultra is just so annoying here. Does clear that out, though. Gypsy's still up 30 supply, but needs to get some damage done. That is absolutely crucial. He's actually in a worse position here than we saw in any of the other games. All right, the battlecruisers are coming out, though. Let's see what they can get done. The Scourge looking possibly for some nice hits. Okay, so the Scourge actually get picked off very well. The battlecruisers looks like they're going to be sent towards that bottom right main base. He wants to go and try to actually get some damage done, as opposed to just pick away at the Darkstorm Ultras. Obviously, they can't hit them under the Darkstorm, so you could just hold position or run them away. But he wants to get over here before spores are absolutely covering the map. Now, a lot of Ultras coming out now. 145 supply there for Sziky. Really, really scary. Look at this Ultralist count. All right, the medics coming up to join this Marine army. They are 3-2 upgrades, and that is a lot of Marines. All right, starts to engage. The medics having a hard time getting in front here. Okay, they are blocking the Ultras just a little bit as well, and you can see that critical mass of Marines really punishing the Ultras a bit. Finally, a Darkstorm comes up, but obviously that won't be enough. He kills every Ultra very quickly. Really nice engage there for Gypsy. You see, look at that 30 supply dying for Sziky immediately there. Gypsy losing almost nothing. Some more Ling Ultra going across the map now. The battlecruisers look like they've come back out to the mid, so they've definitely been stopped for now. There are 3 starports. Yep, battlecruisers still being produced out of them. And it gets really strong if you just continue to bank battlecruisers. You know, if you start getting a bunch of Yamatos on him, you start getting 4 battlecruisers, 6 battlecruisers. Eventually, Scourge basically don't do anything. 2 Yamatos kill a Spore. You know, you can Yamato down just about anything. It's really one of the best spells in the entire game. And, you know, it takes a while for the battlecruiser to get enough energy for that. But, yeah, just retaining them, bringing them back, getting repairs sometimes. Sometimes you get restoration to get rid of the plagues quickly on them, things like that, since that is such a good tactic against them. But I love to see Gypsy kind of regrouping them, bringing them back in a bigger bunch. Now, here we go. Gypsy going through the center right now. Ling Ultra coming up. A Defiler throws down Dark Swarm as well. Double Dark Swarm. Gypsy going to pull back out of it. Radiate going down. Some fantastic macro on both sides here. And yeah, here comes the Battlecruiser. Plague goes down. So that's a fantastic Plague. It is going to deal a lot of damage, but won't bring him down to just 1 hit yet. Scourge connecting with that floating factory, so kind of a nice moment for Gypsy as well. Starting to radiate some of these Ultras. Another Defiler coming up. Yeah, the Battlecruiser are going to put a lot of damage onto these units as they try to come out. Oh, if he can get the Defiler, yeah, that's a huge kill. Okay, and second Plague, so that will bring those Battlecruisers down to about 1 hit point. Plague doing 300, by the way, but never killing the unit. So now you see, oh god, I think a Spore just finished under the BCs and kills 4 of them. That's insane. That Spore just killed 4 plagued BCs. That is really painful. And then, of course, yeah, Spore has a higher priority rate than Scourge, so there you have it. All the BCs get cleaned up there. Gypsy busy elsewhere on the map. A very painful moment for him. If he could have saved those, that would have been gigantic. Unfortunately, unable to. Now here Gypsy comes. This is a slightly smaller force. Okay, he is pulling back a little bit. Yeah, there's a couple of lurkers in there as well. Can't quite break that. He's utilized some of his spells, and now out comes enough Ultras and Lings that he knows he can't take that fight. Gonna have to back up. Radiate's going down. Sziky trying to rally here, hold on to his locations. I mean, the BC kills were a start. He takes a base in the top left during all this as well. I didn't even notice that. But Gypsy has gotten his 4th base, which is a gas as well, so definitely well fed as far as his economy goes. Little counterattack to that 4th. Should be able to be cleaned pretty quickly. A few Ultras coming down, but really not that big a deal. Gypsy cleans it up. Ooh, even has a Nidus up there. Really nice to see. Oh, a Defiler just kind of walked in and died here at the 4th. Another command center going. That's... Well, I haven't seen that many games on the map, but that is a funny place to expand as Terran. It does get spotted by an Overlord. Realistically, there won't always be an Overlord there, so I don't think it's a terrible idea to give it a try, but not going to work out this time. Now, a big Ling Defiler attack looks like it's coming down. The Marines and Bunkers not going to do very much against that. Dark Swarm going to help him to really put some hurt on to that 3rd base. All right, here we go. Defiler leads the charge. Dark Swarm 1, Dark Swarm 2. He's going to be able to knock down these bunkers in a matter of seconds. Very annoying to deal with. The vessels coming down. Now, I'm not sure exactly how many vessels he has left. Don't forget, he hasn't been producing them. He's been focusing primarily upon battlecruisers. So he might not have that many Radiates. Battlecruisers once again doing some pretty significant damage there. All right, Firebats come in. They'll be able to fry the Zerglings, but the Ultras should be able to clean them out. Yeah, that's exactly how that goes down with a Dark Swarm. If the Ultras come out, they will die very quickly. This does buy Sziky a little bit of time, but the Battlecruisers are doing such a good job right now. Feels like Sziky's having a hard time of things. All right, they do clean out that Spore. They avenge their 5 fallen brothers. Some Lings hitting that 4th base. Gypsy getting in super quickly, though, to clean it up. Still, the Crackling's going to deal a lot of damage before he can get in. More Battlecruisers continuing to rally out. I believe that Gypsy doesn't know about Sziky's top left base. So I do want to throw that out there. It's actually pretty well defended anyways and has a Nidus, but yeah, I don't think he realizes. I think right now Gypsy is probably thinking he's got this game. And if it wasn't for top left, I would say 100%. But Sziky definitely still has fighting chances because of that. All right, coming down. Killing off another one of these counterattacks. Sziky's supply only at 100. So still has that bottom right, but we are at like 24 minutes. So basically the main base and natural should be about out of gas here for Sziky, which means he's on a 2 gas economy right now. And 2 gas is not that scary. That's why we're seeing so many lings. And in fact, look at the bank of Sziky in the top right here. 1,200 minerals and then like 150 gas. And I mean, he doesn't have a lot of that gas income. And that's why we see, look at this, like 1 ultra and 20 lings coming in. And the thing is, you need Darkstorm with that, but Defilers cost a lot of gas too. And the vessels are still sitting here gaining value. Look at that, another gas looks like it's going to be picked off. These ultras gonna end up falling. Some of the Marines not firing for whatever reason. The single spore gonna send this battlecruiser packing. And he has knocked out the gas in the bottom right. So now we're on like a 1.5 gas economy, right? Because you're getting 4 gas out of the main and natural geysers total. Right, BC's still continuing to deny at that base. Another little run in here at the 3rd. Going to be very annoying for Gypsy. I think his spread of Marines is good enough to catch all these lings now. Gypsy getting a little bit low as far as minerals go, but he still has the mining bases. It's all right. A lot of gas in his bank. I bet you Sziky would trade for that in an instant. Oh, that command center. Okay, does end up lifting it off. Look at the amount of fire bats. A huge amount of fire bats, like a whole group there. I think Gypsy really realizing at this point that we are so ling heavy that fire bats are actually going to be the way to go. The ultras are like only sprinkled in at this point. That's 1 battlecruiser on hold position, taking down the entire base now. Right, another scan goes down. He's kind of just checking what Sziky has, right? So Sziky has retaken his 4th base location. Another little attack in here. Filer's going to be able to hold on for now. The Darkstorm goes down. Fabled battle spore against battlecruiser. Oh, Eraser coming in. Does Sziky have Burrow? I don't think he does. And that looks like a lot of drones going to end up falling. His economy being so badly hurt here. And really that means that it's just this 1 mining base left over. Battlecruiser's trying to hurt it. Oh, even irradiates that lurker on his way out. And GG is called. Gypsy takes the lead 2-1.